I'm a truckin' across the USA. Yeah, I'm truckin' just about every day. Yeah, I'm truckin'. So what you got to say? I'd like to hear it today. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'd like to hear it today. Trucker John, OTR. Tuesday, Thursday, live streaming on YouTube, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Won't you join me, please? From somewhere in the United States of America is Trucker John OTR. Who knows where I'll be live streaming from? It could be a rest area. It could be a truck stop. Or maybe even a Walmart parking lot. That's right, every Tuesday and Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific time. It's the Trucker John OTR live stream. That's right. It's going down. It's going down. Testing 1, 2, 3. You guys can hear me? Give me a big thumbs up. Give me a big old thumb. I tried to dial it in. Hopefully I'm not translucent. I got the ring light on to try to get some light over here, and I've got it on a softer setting, so it's not so harsh on and coincidentally, at the same time, Tom Bias. I wonder why that is. Are both here? 1 and 2 in the chat. So hello to you. We'll ignore Fowler's Wrath and Feet on the Dashboard because those are a couple of douchebags. I see Tom's here. Says, is anyone else getting burned out on MTN and legal as fuck as I am? I don't really even watch them that much, to tell the truth, to begin with. Pam J's here. Hey, Pam J, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us here in the old driver's lounge. Tom Bias says, I'm back at work at the golf course. They wanted me back. I'm good. You must be. You must be that good. They couldn't live without you. You should have said, yeah, I'll come back for a raise if you give me a raise. You know. Tom Bias, I hope I don't jinx the super chat goals. Did we get one? Oh, we got one from down to it in a second here. CR's here. Hey, CR, good to see you. The Soulcraft. Soulcraft's here. Paul Sharky Mannion from across the pond. Hello, Paul Sharky. Good to see you. You guys make sure you hit that like button and subscribe and share and all that good stuff. David Windler, Music Devolved. Everyone's a critic, Dave. Everyone's a critic, you know. Everyone's a critic. Soulcraft says, I'm in the hospital with my dad. So hard seeing him like this. Yeah. It's a hard time. Says Soulcraft says they got him on 2 milligram deal, whatever, and some other type of drugs. So. Tom Bias, I've been to Soulcraft. I remember seeing my dad with a lot of tubes in him, and I passed out. I remember my dad, he was home on hospice, and all the way up until the last maybe 2 or 3 days, he was up and walking around. Kind of seemed like he was okay, you know, but everyone knew, you know, the end was near. And then it might have been 3 days, he was kind of just out. Anyhow, Pam J, OTR means something different when I was in high school. Well, I would submit that OTR has meant a couple different things at the same time, I guess. Paul Sharky Man says, can't see your, but I love your TJ and my trucker friends. You can't see me? Am I? Hopefully you guys can see me. I don't know. There's Aaron West, $5 super sticker. Yippee, Aaron West! Thank you so much. I just got to it there. Whoops! I accidentally double clicked the like button. You don't really want to double click. All right, thank you, Aaron. I appreciate you. Tom Bias says buffering. Am I buffering? That sucks. I wonder if putting the green screen is like blocking the cell signal. I was wondering. I was wondering if I should not bother with the green screen. It might be blocking the cell signal. So if we get a lot of buffering, let me know. Let me know. Got William here. Good to see William. Jolie's here. Hey, Jolie. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for helping out. Robert Perez from down San Diego way. Top of the morning, the top of the day to you. Yeah, we are. It is. Well, here I'm still morning, 11:43 a.m. here in the Pacific time zone. It's 91 degrees. We're supposed to hit a high of 98 today. I was outside. I walked over to Jack in the Box and I got a little breakfast over there. And that was earlier. That was like an hour ago or so, I guess. And it said it was only 88, according to my watch. And it already felt like it was well into the 90s. It was so hot. So it's going to be warm. Next few days will be in the 90s, but then it's supposed to be dropping back down into the 80s, which is much more to my liking. Deborah Murphy's here. My mom and dad and mom were both sleeping a lot. Roxanne Epstein. Hey, Roxanne Epstein. Good to see you. Howdy to you. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Good to see y'all. Michael Andrews, $10 super sticker. Thank you so much, Michael. Yippee to Michael. I do appreciate it. 5 for the gold. The gold has gone up. Used to be 1 or 2. Well, it's only 1, and then I think the next choice is 5. Because I was going to do 2, but I don't think that option was on there. So I thought, let's go for 5. Let's see what happens. If we make it, we make it. If we don't, we don't. I'm just glad you're here, hanging out with me. And like I said, if it starts buffering, let me know, because sometimes what I see and what you guys see is not the same. I'm not sure if I made it worse. I think I made it worse. I think I worsened it. Jen up the base is here. Jen up the base. Good to see you. Brooklyn, New York, 471. In the house. Good to see you. Michael Andrews, I got the bass working okay here. Boom, 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 boom. Are you playing some bass? Tom Bias, 10 seconds of buffering. That sucks. I'm seeing buffering. I don't know if you guys are seeing. On my iPad, I'm seeing some buffering. Michael McAndrews says buffering. We're buffering. Well, I guess this would be a good time to do an experiment. So we've done this with the green screen in the background. Maybe I should pull the green screen out, and we'll see if it goes smoother. Pam J says no buffering. Shh. So are you saying it's not to say it, or are you saying there's no buffering on your end? Another 10 seconds. Hmm. Well, let's see. All right, I'm gonna pull the green screen away, and we'll just see what happens. Let's just call this an experimental, a live experiment. There's buffering, so everyone's saying there's buffering. I'm gonna look. I am a little translucent too. I'm gonna take away the green screen. Also, see, by having that green screen, I had to. That put me out further away from the wall. And you know what? I'm going to turn off the uh, the ring light too, because turn off the whole chroma key thing. There we go. All right, so it's a little dark. I could open the blinds a little, maybe. Let's see if that helps. Side. All right. So now let's see what's going on. If you guys are if we're still buffering, it looks like it is, huh? Let's see. Well, Mr. O'Neill, I can't hear you. Somebody else, maybe there's drones blocking the signal. The original Hungry Nuts. See, now I get distracted now whenever someone walks by. Froze at times. Jen up the base says deep state attacking trigger drone. No, this has nothing to do with deep state. Nothing to do with drones. It has to do with living in this apartment building, and the Wi-Fi sucks, and the cell signal has a hard time getting in here. That's what it's about. Pam J, it's not that bad. How was business yesterday getting good riders? It wasn't too bad. It was pretty busy. I was pretty busy. I got some good riders, some good tippers, and yeah, it was fine. It was a busy Friday night. Friday nights are always busy, so um, yeah, nothing really spectacular comes to mind. Um, but some nice people. Yeah. Roxanne Epstein, Jen up the base, seems like it. Michael McAndrew is amazing. We get live video from anywhere on the internet. The speed is fantastic. Gigabytes flying through the tubes at high speed. Tom Bias, are there any fairs talking politics? Not really. I mean, I've had a couple people. They just are asking like if tourism is down, And is it true that Vegas is dead and all that kind of stuff? And I just tell them what I've observed. I do think it is. It does seem to be down a little bit, but it certainly isn't dead. And it's still, as far as my volume of the rides I get and how much I do, it's that hasn't changed one bit so far. But you can just see like traffic looks a little bit, just a tiny bit lighter. I can notice it, and the foot traffic, the people walking around, it does seem just a little bit less than usual. Okay, not a lot, but just a little bit, and that's kind of what I tell them. Wes Webb's here. Hey, Wes, good to see you. Thanks for joining us here in the old driver's lounge. Let me know if that helped with the buffering issue, because it seems like it's doing better now, huh? To me, anyhow. Michael McAndrew says I have like 6 cameras on my server and programs all running at the same time. About 30 to 40 devices all hooked up. Yeah, but you're in a house, right? You know, it's different if you're in a house. In an apartment, there's like 900 fucking units in this, or I don't know how many, but it's a lot. And I think it just, you know, and I'm at the bottom of a 3rd-story building, surrounded by, you know, other units. I think that has something to do with it. Michael McAndrew says, and 2 to 3 podcasts open in my browsers. Well, you and your browsers. Wes Webb says it goes in cycles like the weather. What goes in cycles? I don't know what you're talking about. Tom Bias, after watching your live stream, I consider living in Las Vegas. Oh, I like it here. I mean, if you like the desert, or I've lived in the desert my whole life. My whole entire life, I've lived in the desert. So to me, this is just normal. But there are a lot of people that come in and they're like, how do you live here? How do you stand the heat? How do you stand the wind? How do you stand the dust? How do you stand the dryness? And I'm like, I've lived in the desert my whole life. Brooklyn says, TJ, we chatted for 2 hours when your phone died, me and Fancy and Pamela. Speaking of phone dying, I was also, I had the phone on the charger. See, when I'm doing the live stream, I can't plug the phone in because I have to plug the mic in. And hopefully the mic is working. And I can't see what the battery level is at when I'm doing the live stream. Now, usually if I'm in the 90s or if I start off with 100%, I can do a full 2 or 3 hour show, even 3 hours. And it might be, when I'm done, I might be down to 2%, but at least I can get 3 hours in. Now, the other day, we didn't even do, I think it was an hour and 46 minutes or something like that. And that's when the thing went black. It died. But I had started off, I think, in the 70s percentile of charge. But today, I know I was at least at 95, I think, when I started. So hopefully we can get at least a solid 2 hours in. Uh-oh. Is it buffering again? I don't see me moving. I'm freeze framed. Dave, we only get a bit of time. Michael McDaniels, I'm in a house with 2 cable modems. Yeah, see, my modem isn't working because I don't think the phone jack works, and I did make an appointment to have someone come out and check the phone jack and check it out for me. But then I canceled the appointment because I really don't think I'm going to be here very much longer, and so I don't even, I'm not going to bother with it. And then wherever I move to, we'll see if I even need that modem or not. And if not, I'm just going to cancel the service. And It looks like it's buffering though, doesn't it? At least my screen is frozen on my iPad. So I don't know if that's my iPad issue or if it's actually buffering. So if you guys are buffering, let me know. Let me know. I might have to just move this in closer. I don't know. Maybe the closer to the window, the better. Let me know if are we still buffering on my iPad. It's just completely frozen. So I don't know. And I'm not seeing anything in the chat. You guys aren't. So I don't know. The whole show may have just went off the air. I don't even know. Maybe I lost the sweet spot. Remember, I told you this was a sweet spot, but Tom Bye says not buffering. See on my phone, I can see the chat on my iPad. It's just completely frozen. So this might be an iPad issue. Uh, Wes says my phone does pretty well. Sometimes I get 5G at my house. I'll switch when the bars go full. Roxanne is still on the air. Pam J, what's the temp there? Well, as I said just a few minutes ago, it's 94 degrees right now. But I do believe this is the high. Today is the peak. Michael says show is going fine. Okay, I must just be having an iPad issue because the iPad is not doing anything. And I'm not sure why, other than maybe the Wi-Fi shut off. Maybe I have to redo the Wi-Fi. It says Wi-Fi has a blue check mark, so like I said, the Wi-Fi here is shitty. It's pretty shitty. So I think my iPad is just having a Wi-Fi issue. But at least I can see. I can see it on here at noon. Ouch. Yeah. So it's 94. It's going to be 98. We're going to top out. But then starting tomorrow and each day, it's going to get a little bit cooler. And we're going to be getting down into the 80s. And then I forget if how far the forecast went out. If we're getting back into the 70s again, which I love the 70s. I really do. Michael McGandry says it's 52 degrees here. It's summer. I would take 52 over 95 any day of the week. I really would. Pam J, talking about buffering is the opposite of interesting. Let's talk about buffering. West Webb 77 in Rockford, almost perfect. I would say so, Wes. That is almost perfect. I love the 70s. Like I said, I love the 70s. Brooklyn says this morning I tried turning up the heat. Really? Is it that cold? Roxanne Epstein, high of 85 in northern Florida. Yeah, but what's the humidity like? What's that humidity like? Kevin, Midas Kevin Anderson's here. Hello, Midas Kevin. I guess I'm just going to read the chat from the phone. And since I have the phone so close to my face, I can read it. And because usually I have it a little bit further back, and it's hard for me to read. But I guess I don't need you stinking iPad. The iPad, it's just doing the swirly thing of death. Hey, Mr. Spock's here. Live long and prosper. I just can't do it. This thing, there should be no splits. This should go this way and that should go that way. But I just can't do it right. It's just, and it seems like when I was a kid, I could do it all the time. Hey, James Hermio is here. Hey, James, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us. Joining us. Thanks for joining us. All right, so we talk about tourism. West Webb goes in cycles. Yeah, and I know the cycles. I've been here long enough to know the cycles, and I do know that for this time of year, it does seem like it would be a little bit more, just a little bit. I can see the slippage, a little bit of slippage. Kimchi's here. Hey, Kimchi, good to see you. The goddess Kimchi is here. Thanks for being here. David, Grand Prairie, Texas, 77 Fahrenheit today, 101 on Wednesday in Dallas, Fort Worth. Hi, all. Wow. We have not officially had our first 100-degree day yet. And I say the later, the better. That's what I say. The later in the year, the better that we get our first one. I remember 2 years ago, our first 100-degree day wasn't until like mid June or late June. That set a record for being the latest in the year that we got our first 100-degree day. And then last year, we got it in May. It was like early May or mid May that we got our first 100-degree day. Now, so far, we've missed it. We've gotten pretty close. And I'm talking officially. I know some people will say, well, my car gauge said it was 100, or the bank over there, that said it was 101. I'm not going by that. I go by the official, weather station that they have set up at the airport, I believe, where that's where they get the official temperatures that are reported to like the Weather Channel and things like that. And so officially, we have not had our official 100 degree yet. And I'm all for it. My iPad is just completely dead now. No chat, no picture. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe I should just shut it off. I don't know. Let's see, Roxanne, I've seen everyone saying hi. See, the bad thing about the chat on the phone is I can only see a couple of them. Yeah, this isn't loading now. When I'm on the iPad, I can get a whole string of the chat. A big section of it. When I look at the phone, I only see like two or three, and they kind of move fast and stuff. Susie Jones is here. Hey, Susie. Good to see you. Says, I'm kind of sick today. Oh, that sucks. Well, I hope you get well soon, Susie. Take it easy. Have some chicken noodle soup or something. I don't know. Marcia says, keep going. Tom Bias, even in all messages. On the phone, I don't have the option of doing all messages or what. So I'm assuming it's all messages. I don't know. But on the phone here, I don't have that. I don't have a button or an option to do that, to change it one way or the other. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this iPad. I have a feeling that maybe it says that it's on here. It says that the Wi-Fi is on. It's got a blue check mark. It says it's working, so I don't know. I don't know. Let's see if Facebook comes up. Just for shits and giggles, let's see if Facebook comes up. Facebook pops right up. It looks good. Um, let's see. It's kind of taking its time loading, though. I guess I just won't worry about it. I don't know. I shan't. I shan't worry about it. All right, guys. So iPad is kaput. It's kaput right now. Let's see. Michael Andrews says at 67, I have found that healing takes time. Yeah, healing takes time, and you feel everything. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. Mrs. Spock, I just got back from my emotional support dad job. Okay. Uh, that sounds interesting. Pam J, too much for a little iPad to do. You might need a MaxiPad. That's funny. Tom Bias, hey James. Well, this little iPad it usually does really great, but I blame the Wi-Fi here. I'm blaming the Wi-Fi. I'm not blaming my iPad. West Web Rehab. But the other day, did you guys see the picture that I posted on YouTube? of that freaking. I don't even want to call it attack. The thing was like a fucking nail that I pulled out of the bottom of my shoe. I apparently had stepped on it unwittingly, and as I was getting on the bus, and I didn't know that I had stepped on anything. And as I was walking on the bus, all of a sudden my right foot started hurting a lot. And I'm just thinking at first, because I'm old, and as I get older, I will sometimes just get a sharp pain or pains like for no apparent reason. So I was just like, oh my God, what's going on with my foot now? And it was so bad that I could almost barely walk. And I went and sat down in the bus, and I'm trying to think, like, is my shoe falling apart? Because these shoes are kind of getting old. I'm like, are these cheap ass shoes kind of coming apart, or did my sock kind of roll down? And it's like you walk and your sock is down or something. I don't know. So I tried to I was sitting there, and my foot felt fine when and I'm like, that's weird. I don't know. So then when I get to my stop, I get up to walk out, and again my foot starts killing me, and I'm just like, oh my God, what's going on? So I hobbled off the bus. I took a few steps, and it wouldn't go away. The pain wouldn't go away, and I'm like, what the hell? And there was a little one of those electric box, like on the side of the sidewalk. Like, so I go, I'll make it there. I'm going to sit down in that. So I walked, um, a few steps to there. I sat down, and I took my shoe off, and I looked at my sock. My sock was perfectly fine. It wasn't like wrinkled or doubled over. I felt around inside the shoe, and I'm trying to see if there's like a rock in there, or if there was something wrong with the sole, whatever. And it was all fine. It all felt fine and dandy. So I put it back on. I put my shoe back on, and I stood up, and I felt the pain again. I was like, oh my God, what is going on? What is going on? And so I sit back down, and I take my shoe off, and then finally I had this light bulb moment. I'm like, is it coming from the bottom? Did I step on something? So I lifted my foot up or whatever, and I look at the bottom of the shoe, and there you can see the big like head of this tack or whatever the hell it was. And I'm like, oh my God, that's what it is. And so I wedged it out, got it out, I pulled it out, and that thing was like that long, man. I know you're saying I need a tetanus shot. It didn't break skin. I checked my foot. It didn't break the skin. Thank goodness. There was no bleeding. There was no puncture. It was just, I guess, just in far enough that it was causing a great pain. It was very painful, but it didn't break the skin. So I don't think I need a tetanus shot for that. Now, I did get a tetanus shot one time when I was about, I don't know, what was I, like 6? I don't know, 6 or 7 maybe? I was playing in this backyard at my grandma's house up in Fresno, California. I remember playing with the kids, and like my grandma had a house, and then she had this big backyard, and then there was this wooden fence in the back, and then on the other side of the wooden fence was a liquor store. I don't think it was 7-Eleven. Back then, they had 7-Elevens, but I think it was a liquor store, and liquor stores were like convenience stores, right? Because we used to go there and buy our candy. If we had any money, a little bit, we'd always run over there and buy candy and stuff. So I remember we were running around in the backyard, me and these other neighborhood kids, and one of the boards of my grandma's fence had like come loose and had fallen down, and so we used to kids, we're running around, we're like full of energy, right? We're like 6 years old, 7 years old, probably seven maybe, I don't know, but anyhow, and we were little enough where we could just run right through that because it was a board like this wide, and it had fallen down through the fence, and we used to just run through the fence. Sometimes we would go to the liquor store and get some little candies, or sometimes we were just running around because we're kids. You just run all. When you're a kid, you just always are running, right? So yeah, they're running. I'm running. They go through the fence. I follow. I go through the fence. And this one time, when I ran through the fence, my foot, as I was going through it, I guess I didn't lift my foot high enough, and I tripped over that bottom rail of the fence, um, and I just tripped. I fell forward. I put my hands out, of course, instinctively to break my fall. And when I did that, one of my hands fell because at the end of that board, where the board used to be nailed up to the fence, up to that 2x4 that runs across. Well, those were sticking straight up out of that board. And when I fell, my this thumb right here, went right down on a nail, and a nail went right through my thumb. Right through it. And I remember I landed, and I didn't cry at first. But I was kind of like in shock or something. There's my hand. There's a nail in it, and it starts bleeding. And I think I just lifted my hand up and to get off that nail. I didn't want that nail in me. And I remember I did that, and it came out, and then squirting blood all over. And then I started freaking out. I think then I started crying, and then I think I just ran back to the house, and I was holding my thumb, and I'm crying. I'm like, ah! And I run back, and my mom was in the house, and grandma, and I'm just like, ah! And then they heard me crying, and they came out, and they're like, what happened? What happened? What happened? And then I showed them my thumb, and my thumb was like bleeding, and there's blood all over my arm. And I go, I fell on a nail. I fell on a nail. And as soon as they heard the word nail, everyone knows about rusty nails. You got to get a tetanus. So they tetanus shot or whatever. So they took me to the hospital. I guess I don't know. I forget. They wrapped a towel around my thumb or something. Took me to the hospital, and the little wound, all it needed was like a Band-Aid or something. But they didn't need stitches or anything like that. It was just like a nail puncture. I didn't. There was no stitches for that. I think they just wrapped it up in a Band-Aid, and they gave me a tetanus shot. But for this, I don't believe it ever pierced the skin or anything like that. But it sure did feel painful. It felt painful. Yeah, my YouTube on my iPad, it's not going to go. Michael McAndrew says, I pulled a 1/8 splitter, passed out. I had to run up 100 stairs. See, that's what I hate about the chat on the phone. It just goes too fast. Splinter out of a guy's hand, and he passed out. I had to run up 100 stair steps to the ranger's office to call emergency. I don't know whatever happened to him. He probably died. No, I'm just kidding. Dave Willer, a PTSD child. Not really. Pam J, you should have drawn a pic of it, John, not a big one. What? Drawn a pic of what? Of what? I don't understand what you're saying. Tom Bias, I stepped out on a rake when I was like 4. Brooklyn with the $2 super, the attack of the attacks. Yippee! Brooklyn, thank you so much for that $2 super sticker. I do appreciate you. What's Web? I'm having allergy issues. That sucks. Mr. Spuck, that's whiskey antiseptic. See that the thing about the chat on the phone is that it goes by so fast, and then I have to keep trying to scroll back, and it just sucks. Brooklyn, I went to a bar named my thumbnails. I should have drawn a picture. What do you mean? What do you mean I should draw a picture of it? Well, anyhow, I don't know. I just thought it was funny. I just went to chat GTPI or whatever they call it. I sound like an old fogey. I don't know these things. And I just said, I went to the thing where you can generate an image, and I said, kids rejoicing that they have A1 sauce in school or something like that. Now, the funny thing is, the first one that because it popped out a different one than the one you see in the thumbnail. It was all black kids. Every single one of the kids, and it was a completely different. It was like it showed a picture of like it was like they were in a hallway or something, and it was like, and I have nothing against black kids, but I just thought it was I didn't use that one because I didn't want it to just be all black kids. And then it would be like I'm saying that only black kids eat A1 sauce or something. I don't know. So then you can just I didn't redo the command. I just there's another one you can just do like a second, have it do a second attempt, and then it came up with that one, and then that one it was like there's no black kids, and so I wish if they were, but these kids I don't even know they look a little tannish, so I don't know on that, but uh, I wish they would have been like like one of each. You know what I mean? Maybe if I had said Heinz 57 or something. Uh, but I just because I was just thinking about how that stupid Linda McMahon, our Secretary of Education, apparently doesn't know the difference between A1 and AI. So that was just a little joke about that, and to illustrate how kind of fucked we are with this Trump administration. How not one of them is qualified. Not one of them. Not even Marco Rubio, I don't believe, is qualified to be Secretary of State and the head of the National Security Advisor. Now he was a U.S. senator and he won the vote, so fine, he could be a U.S. senator, but he's not qualified, in my opinion, to be. Secretary of State's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty damn big deal, And but the reason I bring up Marco Rubio is because probably out of all of the people around Trump, he might be the I don't know the best one, and he's awful. Yeah, what's that? Marco is smarter than all of them. I kind of just said that. Tom Bias, it's going to take decades to recover. Yeah, MJ, it's hard to do jokes in YouTube chat. Yeah, things could get lost in the reading of it. That's different than like just saying it. Server Norms here says, "Hi, Trucker John. Does AI have a secret racist agenda?" I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. It was weird. It was all black kids. It was just, I don't have like I said nothing against black kids, but I just thought I didn't want to. I didn't want that one because what is that saying? I mean, I don't know. But anyhow, I don't know. It's like I just want it to be over with. This whole Trump and maggot bullshit. I want it to be over with, man. God, do I want it to be fucking over with? Tom Bias says, if at first you don't succeed, then skydiving definitely isn't for you. Um, yeah, there's no second chances on that. West Webb, nobody wants their ladies to be intelligent. Really? I beg to differ. Michael McAndrew says the problem with AI is whose hands it is in. AI is given goals, and I hope they are all good goals. West Webb, next year we will be able to vote. I hope so too. I hope so. Vote early, vote often, I always say. No, make sure you vote. Make sure other people vote. You know. Now, I was reading from Indivisible. I wish my stupid, well, I wonder if, anyhow, I got a, do you guys, how many of you guys are um, like members of Indivisible? There's probably some of you in here, right? Um, and I just kind of glanced over it, but they were talking about how the Democrats really fucked up because they raised more money than Trump and the Republicans as a whole, like 3-1, I think it was. And let's see, Gmail, I have a folder for it. This might not even pop up either. I don't know, but and I thought it was pretty interesting because like I said, I just read I think the opening paragraph, but it was like where did the Republicans spend their money? And it wasn't all that much on TV advertising, and the Democrats put loads of money into for TV ads. And as we've been talking, and I thought we talked about this during the Hillary campaign about how Democrats need to get with the times. They need to get on board with the internets, with live streaming and podcasts. That's where probably the millennials on forward are at. They're not watching TV like we did, like I do or did, like those old boomers, you know? And so, yeah, my iPad is completely just worthless right now. It's not coming in. So, and I thought they learned that lesson in 2016 with Hillary because Hillary was doing things the old way. Uh, and with Trump and with the help with the Russians, they were really pinpointing. They were using like laser type attacks or misinformation campaigns, and they were doing it through video game chat rooms, you know, and through other chat rooms and things on the internet. And the Democrats didn't want really anything to do with it. And we lost in 2016, and we lost again in 2024. And even though, and Hillary Clinton, all the way to the end, the polls were saying she was going to win. It was a sure thing. And how did they do polling? Most of it usually over the telephone on landlines. So I don't know how accurate it is anymore. Westwood Silver Master Markey said that he was sorry helping them win. Donnie win. Citizens United needs to go to hell. If we could ever get back the majorities, even in our SCOTUS. Jojo Mojo Jojo's here. Hey, good to see Jojo Mojo Jojo. Thanks for joining us here in the old chat room. Paul Shuckyman, scary shit. With lots of emojis that I won't even try to translate. So, I guess that's our job. Somehow we have to convince the Democratic Party they need to start putting their money and efforts online. The base John, nope, they didn't learn from Hillary. Biden's Harris campaigns ignored the youth and dismissed them as less important. I think they just, and you would think, Kamala Harris is a lot younger than Biden. You'd think that she would have a better understanding of the media and who listens, and where people listen, where people get their information from. Surfer North says the DNC needs to use AOC as an internet consultant. She has the highest turnout for her podcast. She gets 200 to 3,000 sometimes. Yeah. Look to what's working. Look at the ones that are being successful and just emulate the hell out of it. Emulate what AOC is doing. I agree. Absolutely. Has more smarts than myself, the advisors, who's advising, and they should be fired. These fucking advisors. Like I say, just if nothing else, copy AOC. What says buffering again? Be right back. Pam J doesn't like us to say that word because it might trigger things. But if we are if we're uffering, if we're ufferbaying, let me know. My iPad has gone to shit. For some transmission is unstable due to a weak network connection. I don't know. Anyhow, I am very tired. I didn't get home until almost 4 a.m. I drove a little late last night. I drove until about, I guess it was after 2 when I finally quit. And by the time I get back to the yard and I gotta, like log out and do a little paperwork and put some stuff away, and then I get an Uber, so by the time I got home, I think it was after 3 or 3:30 a.m. And then I watched an episode of American Vandal on Netflix. If you guys have ever watched that, I think it's hilarious. It's not for everybody, but it's like a mockumentary type of thing, and I think it's hilarious, like how they parody these like crime investigations and stuff like that. So I watched. They're like half-hour episodes, so I watched an episode of that, and then went to bed. So it was like 4. I think it was 4:10 a.m. by the time I went to sleep. So I feel a little sleepy then. I feel like I might want to take a little nappy before I go to work today. But Pum J, put on a golf tournament and take a nap. Yeah, golf on TV. That's a good way to cure insomnia. I have on the TV. I turned on TV. I got MSNBC playing, and they've got Trump's agenda administration actively looking at suspending. Oh yeah, I did see a whole bunch of things on Substack. All of a sudden, people are posting about uh, Trump administration seriously considering suspending habeas corpus. So that really sent out a big wave of posts last night. Roxanne Epstein, dang it, up late, TJ. I bet you do want to take a nap. Yeah, I am. As soon as we're done here, I'm gonna go take a little nap. Um, West Web, got to call my old girlfriend at 3 or so. Her birthday is tomorrow, but we are both going to be too busy to spend a lot of time on the phone. If she's your old girlfriend, then just don't even bother, man. You know, love them and leave them, man. Silverdome says, Tom Bass, very good point. We should be SSM4A and other economic issues. We shouldn't give up social and LGBT, but we should emphasize the financial issues. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So yeah, M4A, Medicare for all. Um, but they don't believe us when we say, Marshall, the habeas corpus comment by Stephen Miller kept me up last night. Yeah, it didn't keep me up. I heard it and I went to sleep, but because I was very tired. But yeah, I mean that is a scary notion. You know, Trump will always try to trump up things. No pun intended. I don't think. Uh, to try to say that there's this big, you know, emergency, like national emergency going on. That's what all this, you know, trouble at the border and all that kind of bullshit. So he can say, "Oh, it's a national emergency," and then I have to suspend habeas corpus. It's all bullshit. It's all total bullshit. But I mean, they're probably maybe that's what this whole thing's about. Putting in the worst people so that it creates just havoc and chaos everywhere. And you know, things are just falling apart, and then Trump can say, "Oh, I'm suspending habeas corpus because everything's crazy. Everything's going crazy right now." I mean, that's a scary thought because once they do that, then they can do anything. Absolutely, there is no SCOTUS. There is no following the law. Trump becomes the law. He becomes the ruler that he wants. He wants to be the autocrat. So it's a scary thought. Susie Jones, almost to the minute of the moment I was notified. West Webb, just like there are not enough teachers, so you could get away without educating all the kids. And you can appoint a person who has absolutely no qualifications whatsoever to be the Secretary of Education, like Lyndon McMahon, who all she is a billionaire with no teaching experience, nothing, and doesn't know the difference between AI and A1. That's what I'm talking about. These Republicans are disgusting. Kristi Noem is disgusting. And I'm sure many of you have seen the Chris Murphy video of how he just totally undressed her, uh, and then her response was so just disgusting when she says Garcia. We're talking about Garcia, the guy who was illegally taken and sent to an El Salvador prison, and how she just immediately goes in and says he's a terrorist, he's a gang member, he's a wife beater, he's an awful person, he's a citizen of El Salvador, he's never coming back, he will never come back. It's like, fuck you, bitch. And okay, I just had a thought. Okay, if he's an El Salvadorian, that's where he's from, that's where he's born. Then why is he in prison? And did he break any El Salvadorian laws? Why isn't he just released into El Salvador? Why did they put him in prison? Oh, because they're saying he's a gang member. I guess. I guess just that in and of itself would be a crime. Now, I'm not saying that he is a gang member, but that's what they're claiming. But other than, he didn't break any laws here. I don't believe he was arrested for anything. He had, I guess a domestic abuse thing with his wife, but by her own accounts of it is he went and got into counseling, and they haven't had any problems since. And they've got, I think, a couple kids or whatever, and they've been happy. And she wants him back. She wants her husband back. The kids want their father back. But I don't think he committed any crimes, let alone in America, but even in El Salvador. Are there any crimes that have been in El Salvador that he was wanted for? Why would they put him in prison? Other than to just be dicks. They're just being dicks. And that's putting it rather mildly, right? Christy Nome, you're a dog killer. So you need to shut the fuck up, bitch. Michael McAndrews says arrest Bondi. She's on the take. She has no problems with being bought off. She's just a whore, right? That makes her a whore. Nothing wrong. Nothing against whores. Pam Bondi, you are one. If just own it, girl. Just own it. Pam Bondi, you are a whore. You take money, so you will look the other way. Paul Shuggy says, lost a good friend on Monday. Me and him used to talk about with some proper psycho. We both saw the light and lived for another day. Sleep tight, Paul. Yeah, sorry for your loss there, Sharky. Susan Jones, none of these people have immunity. They will pay for their crimes. I hope so. From your lips to God's ears, as they say. I hope they do. Julie, Chuck and John has channel memberships and super chats and support the show by liking, subscribing, and sharing. Buy me a coffee over there. Thank you, Jolie, for posting that. Thanks so much. Now, I just sort of rebooted my iPad. It still says that it's connected to Siegel Suites. It's got the blue check mark. And let's see what happens. So what are we going to do? Smarter than this entire shit show of a cabinet. And yeah, they are stupid, but they're also educated. They're educated, stupid people. That's the weird thing, right? So you know they're not sincere. You know that they don't have their constituents' best interest at heart. Not one fucking bit. Um, they're all disingenuous. All these Republicans, all these maggots, all the GOP. They're. You know what? The GOP, the Republicans in Congress, they could put a stop to this by not capitulating to Trump, to Trump's every whim. But they don't. Because they're all little, talk about bitches, they're all little bitches. They're little bitches. There's fucking bitches, there's bitches, and then there's little bitches, and these are like little bitches. All these little Republican congressmen that let Trump just have his way with them, they're little bitches. It looks like my iPad might be working now. I just want to see if I can get the chat going again over here. It looks like it is. All right, so I didn't see it. Nurmudge, I don't believe I've seen that name before, so thank you for being here. Thanks for joining us here in the driver lounge. And Nurmudge just sent Sugar John gift 10, about 10 Sugar John memberships. So thank you so much. Yippee to Nurmudge. Thank you so much. And I always like reading the list of who got them. Rosanna got one. Susie Jones, hey, you got one. John from Las Vegas. I like John from Las Vegas. I've actually met John from Las Vegas in real life, and he's a great guy. He's a hell of a good guy. Notorious GRG got one. Pro Buzzard. Lorraine Sparviaro. Let's Go. Bill Trigg. There's a lot of names I don't recognize. Hopefully that will make them want to come on in and hang out with us. Texas Gin got one. Haven't seen Texas Gin in a while. Brooklyn, New York 471 got one. Awesome. Susie Jones, they swear to the Constitution, not for it. Tom Bias, they're not educated. They just went to school to say that. Well, I think some of them are very well educated. And some of them maybe, just skated through and their rich daddies, basically bottom degree or whatever. But I think a lot of them are probably pretty well educated. But they're stupid. Or they're greedy, or they don't give a fuck about anyone but themselves, Kimchi, pussy ass bitches, paps. Yeah, that's what they are. I like little bitch, but yeah, they're little pussy ass bitches. For some reason, I have to put the word little in there. Rosanna and 109, we are the resistance. Impeachment now, absolutely. And I was going to put because I did copy a meme. It said impeach, and there's like an American flag, and it says Trump on the bottom. but I couldn't get it to fit in the thumbnail. I couldn't get it all to fit, so I went with the A1 sauce. But yeah, I'm absolutely and peach, and I know whatever. The Republicans, they're not going to do it, but go along with it. But I don't give a fuck. Impeach the motherfucker. Kimchi, member for 13 glorious, wonderful months. Miss you, beautiful mutter trucklers. Hey, Kimchi, thanks for being here. I do appreciate you being a member and hanging out, being here. You're always good. Always good to see you in the chat. Oh, Nurmudge equals Nordis. Oh, I remember Nordis. See, when you guys change your names, I don't know. Roxanne Epstein, Nurmudge is Nordis Rodriguez, TJ. Oh, okay. How come you guys know this and I don't know this? Why am I always the last one to know? Wes Webb, also a member for 13 glorious, wonderful months. Thank you so much, Wes. Who remembers 13 months ago? Were we trucking? Well, first of all, yippee, yippee to Wes Webb. 13 months ago, no, I was driving Uber. I haven't driven a truck, big rig truck, since I think early February of 2023. So that's over 2 years ago. It's been over 2 years, almost 2.5 years since I stopped driving the big truck. Kimchi, Stephen Miller memorized the Hitler playbook. He ain't stupid. Well, I would say, maybe based on kind of like Hal's definition of stupid, I would say that Stephen Miller is probably educated and knowledgeable, but I would say he's stupid. Because he should know better. I think that's kind of the definition that Hal goes by. Not that we all have to be Hal sycophants. We can all have our own opinions. So. Tom Bias says maybe Stephen Miller didn't read that last chapter, Kimchi. Rosanna with a $4.99 super sticker. Yippee to Rosanna. Thank you so much. Good job. Good job to you, Rosanna, who's now a member. Paul Chuckamanian says, just a thought, just thought a very American way of making a few quid. How to leave a posthumous message to all you lovely people. Okay. It's Uber John. Yeah, we've talked about that. Should I change my name from Trucker John to Uber John? Now I'm Taxi Driver John. I'm sticking with Trucker John. Once a trucker, always a trucker. I still got my CDL. I could, who knows? Now, the other day, I was seriously thinking about maybe applying for some trucking jobs, but then I'm like, I don't know. There's no freight in the ports. This might not be a good time. Not a good time. Janelle Walker, member for 14 glorious months. Janelle, yippee! Thank you so much, Janelle. Time flies. Yeah, 14 glorious, wonderful months. MJ Daniel says impeachment is a good way to talk about all the illegal shit going on. The American people need to know that Democrats should do it nonstop. Yeah, I think so. Let's just get it all out there. But let's not just go impeachment. I mean, let's start listing all the offenses, all the high crimes and misdemeanors. Let's get them out there. Wes Webb, 1111. Thank you, Wes Webb. Yippee! 1111 super sticker, I guess, or super chat. I won $15 off a $5 mega ticket. Well, there you go. Big winner, Wes Webb. Rosanna says Nick Rick is alive and well. Yeah, where is he? He's not in the chat. I hope he's okay. Rosanna says he's alive and well, so I hope so. Roxanne says, I've seen Nick Rich on Hal. Yeah, because Johnny Million read one of his questions. I did catch. I caught almost that whole show. Even though I didn't go to bed till about 4, I woke up at about 9:20 a.m. Pacific time, and I turned on. And first thing I did was turn on Hal Sparks. Nirmudge, welcome to Driver. Yippee, Nirmudge, formerly known as Nordis, apparently. Thank you for becoming a driver. Kimchi, I proclaim that every minute of every day shall be 420. You're welcome. Kimchi for president. Susie Jones, member for 3 months. Thank you, Susie Jones. Yippee! Thank you for sharing your day with us. Thank you for being here, Susie, and thanks for being a member. So, yippee! Back at you. Rosanna John Bear. Everyone, there's Super John. Wes Webb, so long. It's been good to know you. All right, Wes. Good seeing you. Yeah, I guess because you won the lottery, so you're gone. You're out of here. You won the $5 or whatever. Is that what that is about? Tom Bias, there's still no coughing emoji. You mean one that goes like, bullshit? MJ Daniel says, yes, people like Miller are arrogant enough to believe they will not end up like all the other dictators have ended. I would love nothing more than to see that motherfucker at the end of a rope, like in Nuremberg. But of course, we don't do that anymore. But if there's one person that deserves that, it would be Miller. Wes Webb says 66% full. The longshoremen are glad for the break. They were doing too much overtime. I don't know about that. They also like overtime pay. So, and once that break, keeps going on, and they start not making any money, they won't be too happy. Michael McDaniel's $1 super sticker. Thank you, Michael. Yippee to Michael. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you. We're almost at the goal. 4 out of 5, it looks like. Mr. Spock, member for 8 glorious, wonderful months. We just completed the goal, so yippee! From Michael McAndrews, thank you so much. $5 super sticker. We completed the goal. Yippee! You guys are awesome. Mr. Spock, member for 8 months. Yippee, Mr. Spock. Live long and prosper, even though for the life of me, I really can't do this very good. But I'll give it a try. Says, hey, TJ, how about Fast and Furious John? I just think Trucker John has a certain ring to it. It kind of rolls off the tongue a lot better than Fast and Furious John. Or even Uber John. Trucker John just has a certain, I'm keeping it. MJ Daniel, $2 is as much as I will spend for Powerball or Mega, not buying Mega anymore. I always dream about what I would do if I won, but I never play. So I'll never win. Because I never play. Michael McAndrew says, oops, it takes at least $5 to reach the goal. Really? Well, anyhow, yippee, Michael. I see another one. So yippee, Michael McAndrews. Thank you so much. I thought we already made the goal. What's up? I'm not leaving, just my epitaph. Oh, okay. Epitaph. And another one, Michael McAndrews, you're going crazy now. Another yippee, you're going to make me go hoarse. Yippee, Michael McAndrews. Goal achieved. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so just now, yeah, maybe you were right. I don't know. But I don't even know how these things work, Westwood, did they hang the Nuremberg? The Nuremberg trials, they found a bunch of those Nazis guilty, and they hanged a bunch of them. I've seen the videos and the photos. They hanged a bunch of those motherfuckers. I think that's what we should do. We should do that with Trump and Stephen Miller. You put Bannon on that fucking galley or whatever. What do they call it? Put them all up there, man. Hey, the assassins, all of the conspirators that killed Lincoln, they hanged those motherfuckers. Trump is trying to kill the Constitution. He's trying to kill democracy. He's trying to kill our country. He's trying to destroy our country. He is the biggest traitor that there is. So I see nothing wrong with stringing them up, man. The whole administration, string them up. MJ Danny wants to put him in Guantanamo. Yeah, no. I'm saying gallows. They're the ones that were so eager to erect a gallows on January 6th. So let's just, hey, that's what they want. That's what they get. Mr. Spock, no retooling for TJ. West Webb, there are a few other trucker Johns. Yeah, but none of them are this. Whatever this is. Man, J. Daniel, I won $4 on Powerball last week. Yippee! Yippee! Yeah, never mind. Gallows. I said galley. Yeah, well, whatever. You might need a galley. I don't know. If you're hungry. But string them up, man. And J. Daniel says, yeah, a bunch of Germans were, and a bunch of Japanese were hanged. Should be hanged after the war too. Yeah, do it, man. This is an attack. This is an attack on our country. What Trump is doing is an attack on this country. I say string them up. Pam J. Stephen Miller, a.k.a. Pee Wee German. He is just vile. Stephen Miller, he's just disgusting and vile and creepy. I mean, who doesn't get kind of like goosebumps whenever you see that motherfucker? Because he's so creepy. Could they be any more creepier? Could Trump and all of his surrounding, his administration and all his sycophants and everyone around him, they're all creepy. Bannon, disgusting and creepy. Ah. Marsha Guillotine. Yeah. I'm more of the hangman's gallows. I think that's more traditional. MJ Daniel points out they executed the Rosenbergs in the 50s for much less than that. Yeah. And some people say they weren't even guilty. Mr. Spock, isn't the international politically correct term smoke fest? I have no idea. Marshall, we wouldn't have to watch it. Yeah, you don't have to watch it. C.J. Jones, gross and cruel. I'm normally not a like pro death penalty person, but in certain cases like this, I think I would not shed one tear for Trump or Stephen Miller or any of those assholes if they saw the end of a hangman's noose. I would not cry one bit. I would not be upset. I would probably even be happy. Let's see. Kimchi says Susie, Spock, and Nick Rich in spirit, and all who worship Jah. Puff puff pass. Who's Ja? MJ Daniel, Amanda just doesn't, just can't take a little gallows humor. Like when Andrews jail them, some for the rest of their life. Yeah, I know. Maybe I'm being a little hyperbolic, but I don't care. It makes me feel good. Just to think, like, just to say, like, yeah, Stephen Miller, you should be hanged. It makes me feel good because he should be, at least hypothetically. You know, like, would you have a problem if all the German Nazis that were around Hitler, if they were hanged? Do you have a problem with that? I think this is the same kind of group we're talking about here. If anyone deserves to be hanged, it's those guys. Tom Bias, no one is as creepy as Stephen Miller. He is just the epitome of creepy. Yes. Jolie, blood sports on Joker John show today. Well, I don't know. I don't know about that, but I'm just saying it's not really unprecedented. After World War II, as we've mentioned, a bunch of these Nazis and even all the Japanese, they were hanged. Juice them up. Like Rams, in the old days, Miller would be hung, but it's actually hanged. Kimchi says Jah is God of marijuana in his sacrament. I don't know anything about that. Susie Jones, he wants to suspend habeas corpus, let him suffer no. Just turn it around. Yeah. Um, West Webb says he's trying to be creepy, and Michael McAndrew says he doesn't need to try. Yeah, it comes very naturally. I think it comes very naturally to him. Kimchi says, I can honestly say this is the first time I have ever felt or understood the desire to end a life. Wow. See, this is what the Trump administration and Trump specifically has has driven us to. You know, MJ Daniel, if what they plan for America, then yes, I see a wall and blindfolds in their future, at least for those who survive to see a trial. And the reality, let's say, these people get arrested, they get tried, they get convicted. They're never going to see a hangman noose. They're never going to see a electric chair. We might be lucky if they even see the inside of a prison cell. And if any do go to prison, it'll probably just be for a few years, and then they'll be let out. That's the sad reality of it. MJ says, one last chance for we the people to stop this without some kind of violence. These midterm elections will determine how this goes. We need to flood the gates, man, with dim voters. If people haven't learned by now how fucked up and awful Donald Trump is for this country, and all of his advisors like Stephen Miller, if people haven't figured that out by now, or at least by the midterms, then then we're done. We'll never figure we will never figure it out. At least not enough of us. Like you and I and about 75 million other people, I think we know. But if we can't overwhelm the ballot box in 2026, and just have a big giant blue tsunami wave and take over the House and take over the Senate, if we don't get a strong showing and people don't show up, or a lot of people vote for Republicans and maggots, the uh, maggot people running, then we're done. Well, 2026 will show me, and it'll show me where we're at, I guess. Like, did people really learn from 2024 what a mistake that they made? Some of them are. We see the videos. People say, "I voted for Trump, and now he's deporting me," or whatever, or "I'm losing my job now, and I voted for Trump." We see those videos, but how much of that is anecdotal, and how much of that, as far as like people really feeling it, and how much of it is real? I guess we'll find out in 2026. But if it isn't an overwhelming uh, victory to oust these fucking Republicans, then we're dead. We're done. Then we are done. And unless there is some war, which I don't know how that's going to work out. But our country, as we know it, will be it'll be determined by the outcome of 2026. Because if people haven't learned by then how fucked up this administration is, how fucked up Donald Trump is, then they never will. Never, ever, ever. I just saw a post on, I think, Threads, and I have one of my, I guess, friends or whatever you call it, is an old high school schoolmate, and he's a total fucking maggot. And someone posted something about, oh, it was a meme about Trump being the worst president in history, in U.S. history. And then I saw the comment from this guy that I know, and he's like, only to the Democrats with Trump deranged syndrome, because Trump is truly great, or something like that. It just was it was just nauseating. The 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 admiration that these maggots still have for Trump. I mean, they're going to be going to the stores and not finding um, any items. The shelves will be bare, and they're still going to love Trump all the way down as the Titanic is going down, and as the water is rising up to their noses. They're still going to be fucking praising Trump. That's how sick some of these motherfuckers are. They're sick. They will love that motherfucker as they are drowning. So the only question is, I guess, in 2026, how many of those motherfuckers are still around and voting? Because if the Democrats don't take over at least the House, then we're done. We are fucking done. Brooklyn with a 99 cent super sticker, or a sticker. Thank you, Brooklyn. Yippee to Brooklyn. Thank you so much for that. And Brooklyn's mad, apparently. Got that mad face going, angry face. Paul Sharky Mannion says Stephen Miller is the most rapid-tongued shithead I've ever seen. I just hope that when Stephen Miller gets convicted, tried and convicted, and sentenced, that they don't get the wrong Stephen Miller, if you know what I mean. Because the other Stephen Miller I like, pretty much, his music. I tried to get like a Stephen Miller joke, and it just didn't work. It just didn't work. Sorry about that. It looks like my iPad's freezing up again. So there's that. Josh, I'm sitting in a Mexican restaurant between gigs. Feels fitting, laughing out loud. I love Mexican restaurants because Mexican food is some of my favorite food. Tom Bias, I do hear that Hal Sparks' argument that it would cause a civil war. Midas Kevin, it's not we want to end the world. Really, what it started out with is people got dumped, divorced, or their loved ones have died, so they take all their anger out on us. To them, it's all our fault. I don't know what we're talking about. I don't who's talking about end of the world? Anyhow, Susie Jones Tom Bias, I said agree 100% in house chat. What's going to start the Civil War? If we don't win in 2026, I don't know. Paul Sharkey, some say I'm a space cowboy. That's my favorite Steve Miller song, probably. I'm a smoker. I'm a smoker. Yeah. Pro Buzzer, hey John, and thank you to the person who give. Yeah, hey, look at there. That was Pro Buzzard. Yeah, that was nerd. That was nerds. I do see we're down to 20%. It did pop up when my phone is down to 20%. Now we've got an hour and 44 minutes, which was just about when we went last show, and the phone died. And that's because I think I started off with about 77% charge on my phone. This time, I'm not sure exactly where I started. I know it was over 90. I think it was around 94 or 95%. So we can go a little longer. We might make it to 2 hours. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, suspicion of baby corpus. Susie Jones is saying, or they were saying that would cause upheaval. Josh, any updates on the apartment search? Um, Not really. The one that I really really love, that one apartment of, that I don't know if you guys know, but that one that I really really love, I don't think I'm going to be able to get it. I'm still trying to get that one. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and go to the one they do accept people with evictions on their record that are recent. It's just a studio apartment. It's 1,025. So you're paying. It's like a premium that I have to pay due to my stupidity, due to my own stupidity and lack of being able to handle my finances correctly or whatever. Now I'm paying the price. So I'm going to have to get a studio for 1,025. They'll take me. They'll do it. I've been looking all around. Some people, they'll talk and they'll him and haw. They won't give me a guarantee. This one does. They're set up for it. So I'll probably do that one. It's a studio. It's basically the size of this living room with a kitchen and a bathroom. Um, Here, I'll turn the camera around. You can kind of see. I don't know. This is the size of the living room here. Okay, don't you know exclude the bedroom. So there's the TV. So where I would be moving to, it's basically the size of this living room, but with a kitchen and a bathroom for 1,025. And if I had good credit or didn't have the eviction, I could get that place that I love, that I fell in love with, for only $895 a month, a one bedroom, and I love that place for $895. But they're not gonna rent to me. I asked them about if my daughter could like co-sign, and they were like, "Oh, well, we've never heard of that," and I'll find out. I'll ask because I think this going through a real estate company. They have to ask the owner of that unit, and they haven't really got back to me on it. So I just got to pull the trigger, go to this other place, 1,025. It's a smaller place, but that's going to be about $600 cheaper than this place. And believe me, I could use the $600, you know, in my monthly budget. I could really, really use that. So I should go. I think I'm just going to go over there. It's $600 cheaper than here, and then maybe who knows what will open up. Sometimes you really, really want something like a car or whatever. You have your heart set on it. You really, really, really want it, and it falls through, or you can't get it, and then after a while you just forget about it. And you're like, why did I really want that car? Why did I really want to do that? Whatever it was, or whatever. So maybe this will pass, or something better will come up later on. So I'm not going to force the issue. Uh, but I have gotten lists of things like from the Legal Aid Society or whatever, free legal aid. They gave me this list. I went exhaustively down the list of all these places, and they all either you have to have some sort of qualifying disability, which I don't have. I don't have any disability. I'm not on disability. So you have to have either a disability and a lot of them won't take people with evictions. I don't know why they gave me that list. I told them I had a recent eviction, and they gave me this list of all these apartments to call, and half of them were, you call them up, no, we don't take evictions. So anyhow, that list they gave me was pretty worthless. Of about, must have been, I don't know, 20 apartments, 20 or more. It was kind of worthless. Um, so I'm just going to go with the one that I went to about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I called the lady back yesterday. I go, hey, I was the guy. You showed me some apartments like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I go, I've never got back to you, but I go, is the room still available? And then she was saying, well, she said, yeah, we have some available, but they're still like, I guess they're redoing the flooring and stuff. She said it'll probably be ready in a couple weeks. So I think I'm just going to finish filling out my application. I'm going to take it down there and just go there. Pam J says, $5 super chat. They just better have good internet. Good luck, TJ. I hope you find what you're looking for. Thank you, Pam J. Yippee! For the $5 super chat. Thanks a lot for that. iPad completely not working right now. Again, it worked for about 5 minutes. Now it's not working. The internet. It's an internet thing. It's just not. It's not working. But the phone is, so I can go ahead and look over here. But thank you for that, Pam. Yeah, I hope they do have a good internet. If not, I have the modem. I'll see if I can transfer service over there and see how that works. What's what did we ever do without the internet of things? It's become for me a part of my life. I couldn't live without it. I watch the internet. I don't even watch like this. The TV. This TV gets cable. Today is the first time I've turned this TV on. I bet. I bet in a month. I never watch TV. The only time I'll watch it is if I can't get it. If I want to watch a game, like a football game, and I can't get it through the internet, and I'll see what's on the TV. That's really the only time. And now today, I thought I would turn it on because I thought it might bring more light or something. It's not really. It's not really. And I put it on MSNBC. But I never watch TV. Almost all of my viewing is through my TV. I don't watch cable. I have a TV where it's just hooked up to. I watch Netflix. That's basically all I've been watching. And if the internet was better, and actually it's been coming in really good. It's been working better as far as on my TV, as far as watching Netflix and stuff. And sometimes I just other streaming services. I just watch streaming services and YouTube. I don't even hardly ever watch cable TV. So I don't need cable TV. I need the internet. I love the internet. Susie Jones says a lot of lonely people wear. Oh, that was like a Beatles song. Where did they all come from? All the lonely people. Where do they all come from? Something like that. Jeb Davis says Marsha. Oh, see, it disappeared. I don't know why. I don't know why my iPad's not working. That's the reason I like the iPad is it's easier for me to read the chat. And when I'm on the phone here, it just disappears. It goes, and now I don't know what I was reading. And I can't. I don't want to go back. It's just too hard to scroll back. Tobias, every silver lining has a touch of gray. More song lyrics, a little Grateful Dead, I believe. Right? One of their more commercial offerings, I think. Donald O'Leary, same here, Republicans. Hey, Don O'Leary, good to see you, by the way. Thanks for being here. Thanks for jumping on in. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. Do that. Kimchi, oh my God, John, you need me on your lives. You can't remember the tune of any song. Drives me insane. I said the tune. I was singing the tune. I sing All the Lonely People in the exact tune. Now, the Touch of Grey one I didn't because I didn't see that it was a song lyric until at the very end. MJ Daniel, I watch mostly sports on TV. My mother watches mysteries, pretty much every one of them. Cop shows too, like Blue Bloods. Lots of BBC mysteries. I do not though. Kimchi says, sort of. Like I said earlier, everyone's a critic. Everyone's a critic. That was very, very early. I said that. So. Aaron West, MJ Daniel, I'm excited about Boston Blue. Eleanor Rigby. Yeah, I think I said that in tune. Brooklyn 471 says, Fancy, I had a long conversation about Timu yesterday when your phone died. Oh, Fancy and I had a long. Did you? Did you now? Oh, did you now? Tom Bias says, TJ, your AI exit music is really good. Thank you, Tom. Glad you like it. I like it too, actually. I think my AI music is way better than Hal's AI music. And I know Hal does it. He does his sort of tongue in cheek, and he's going for the corn. I actually tried to make mine, sound decent. So I kind of worked on it for a bit. West Webb says, I don't get into cop shows or mysteries too much. My dad and mom love them. Well, I remember cop shows. Some of my favorites over the years. I like Beretta. I guess Rockford Files. He was a PI, and there was his cop friend or whatever. So this more a PI show, but it's kind of a cop show. Um, let's see. What other cop shows did I like? Have I liked? I guess I haven't really been huge fans. Like Hill Street Blues. I remember that was a pretty good show. Um, Tom Bias, how's AI music has been upgraded lately? Like this past, yeah, he's been getting a little bit better. General Bass, Trucker John Mannix. Mannix, I like Mannix. Wasn't Mannix a PI also? Josh says, I think the Shield. Oh yeah, I really like the Shield. I think the Shield is one of the greatest shows ever made. One of the greatest TV shows ever made in the history of TV shows. It's that good. Uh, MJ Daniels has built a feeder platform for the pigeons yesterday, and the first crow just used it this morning. It takes them a bit to get used to new things. Do you talk to your crows or to the ravens? We have a lot of ravens more than crows. Oh, I'm down to 10%. The thing just popped up. My charge state of charge meter. It doesn't show me constantly, but it popped up to 10%. So I should probably end, and we are right at an hour and 58 minutes. And maybe since we're talking about, I haven't done the closing in a while. Maybe we can do the closing, and we can listen to some of my AI music, and maybe we'll have just enough juice to do it. So I want to thank everyone for being here. Hill Street Blues. Well, you don't remember the Hill Street Blues? Oh, that was a great show. That was from that was it the 90s or did it go back to the 80s? I think it was 80s or 90s. Anyhow, Josh, ravens and crows are supposed to be super smart. They are, and I was going to talk about how they are extremely intelligent. I've seen them open trash cans and just pick through trash. It's amazing. And also, I've had conversations with them. They sit there and act like they're listening to you. Anyhow, guys, they're probably figuring out how they can, poke your eyes out. But it looks like they're listening to you. Anyhow, guys, thanks so much for being here. I'm going to end the show before it goes to black, before it just dies. And hopefully, we'll be back Tuesday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Probably no green screen. It seems to be, ever since I took the green screen away and I was able to move the phone closer to this wall as possible, it seems like our buffering issues pretty much went away. So, anyhow, let's try this again Tuesday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Maybe I'll have some updates on apartments and on tourism in Vegas and on habeas corpus. So come back here for all those subjects. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Yippee to all the people who contributed. And for those who can't do that, that's fine. Just like, subscribe, and share. Share the show. Let's get us going. I really want to see what a dandelion tastes like. And here we are. We've been stuck at this 3,800 for a long time now. 3,880. We only need like 120 more, and then we'll get to 4,000, and then you guys will see me eat a dandelion. And I really am kind of my mouth is watering, kind of thinking about the dandelion. Okay, so let's get that going. See you guys again Tuesday, maybe, and I'll probably do some other videos in between now and Tuesday. See you guys there. I'll see you in the chat rooms, around and around. And also, though, I'm going to bring back Trucker John Words of Wisdom. I haven't done that in a while. So here we go, guys. You guys ready? Write this down. Get your pad, get a pen. Write down these words of wisdom from Trucker John. Okay, here we go. Ready? So, guys, just remember that
Well, it's time to say goodbye. show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid. But doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. Don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again.
Trucker John, on the road he rides, live streaming all through the nights. From politics to pop culture he speaks. No topic is off limits, nothing is weak. From Vegas to the highways, he'll never tire, shouting about food, talking about desire. He's the rebel of the asphalt, the king of the night. With a microphone in his hand, he's ready to ignite. Freedom is his fuel, passion in his soul. Gotta express himself, gotta take control. Moving through the country, keeping it real, no filter, no holding back, nothing to conceal. free.